Magandang hapon, magandang tanghali sa lahat. Ang ating pag-usapan ay yung the shortcut impeachment na nangyari sa kaso ni Sara Duterte. Ang ginawa po ng committee ni Jinky Lucaret Luistro at ni kanyang partner na si Terry Cookie Ridon ay or alias Mr. Bean ng Pilipinas ay shortcut. Shortcut justice ang nangyari. Bakit shortcut? Hindi. Ang nangyari, pinastrack nila. Hindi nila sinunod ang proseso. Pangalawang bagay na to, pangalawang hakbang na to, pangalawang akto na to na ginawa nila na hindi nila sinunod ang proseso. Ipakita ko sa inyo ang utos ng proseso na binuo ng House of Representatives kabuuan, hindi committee. Binago ng committee ang proseso. Ang utos ng House of Representatives na buong committee, buong panel, buo yung kabuuan niya, basahin natin. Hindi po nila sinunod. Sa Bakatwid, nagbuto-buto kagad. Kung nagbuto-buto kagad, hindi man ang tinalakay isa-isa ang mga ebidensya. Grabe to. Ito. Did you read that? Palakihin ko para mabasa nyo. Ayan, submission of evidence and memoranda. Dito nga yan nagsimula sa 6, yung sasagot. Natandaan natin, sumagot ng answer ad cautelam si Sara Duterte. Ang ibig pong sabihin ng answer ad cautelam ay pagsagot na may pasabi sa House of Representatives Committee na may gagawin silang iba. Usually, yung gagawing iba ay yun po yung tinatawag na question sa jurisdiction. Naimbag na malim. Kay Peter Aludino sa the historic city of Bigan, Ilocosur. Ang sarap dyan, mamasyal dyan sa loob ng ano bang tawag doon? Baluarte ba tawag doon? So, anyway, naalala ko lang doon yung kumain ako. Anong bang pangalan ng kinainan ko dyan? Masarap na kainan sa Bigan. At saka yung, tawag nyo? May kinain natin ng bagnet at saka yung, yung longganisa na, ng Bigan. Kaya doon napakakanta ko sa Bigan, where it began, I came began to know when. Elsa Aquino, kung buhay si Percy Lapid, sigurado madismaya siya sa iyo. Ano nangyari bakit siya madismaya sa akin? Binabanatan ko ang mga taong kurap, madidismaya sa akin. Baka ang problema kasi sa inyo, Elsa Aquino, naniniwala kayo na si Digong pumatay kay Percy Lapid. Hindi po, wala tayong ebidensya. Kahit tanongin nyo si Roy Mabasa, hawak po namin ang mga ebidensya. Si Bantag talaga nagpapatay. Okay? Ganun lamang po yan. At si Bantag ay hindi pinapahuli ni Bongbong Marcos. Aywan ko kung bakit. Si Jomac 4448 by hook or by crook. Dapat ma-impeach nila si BP Sara kasi nagpapakulong lahat. Lahat naman sila makukulong dito. Kasi lahat sila doon ang umupo. 25 sa kanila ay pinangalanan ng Marines na tumanggap ng pera. Yan ang pinaka-problema nila. Paano nila maalis ang katotohanan sa kanilang pangalan na pinangalanan sila ng mga Marines na binigyan ng pera? Yan po ang pinaka-problema nitong mga member ng Committee on Justice. So tingnan natin ha. Ipalabas ko ngayon ang tinatawag na affidavit. At ipakita natin ang sa affidavit kung sino-sino ang mga nasa pangalan na nilagay ng mga Marines. Kasi number 1 dyan si Trillanes. Pati si Erwin Tulfo na nasadlak din dyan. Pati si Katapang nalagay din dyan. O ito yung tumanggap ng malita. Litrato. Ito po yung bumuto ha, maliban kay Akop na namatay na. Ito po yung bumuto sa para i-shortcut ang justice kay Sara Duterte. Lahat sila bumuto, walang hindi bumuto. So kasama din bumuto yung aming congressman sa Coronadal, sa Banga at sa Katantangan sa South Cotabato na si Dinan Hernandez. Bumuto kasi walang nag-object eh. Yan, nakita ba nyo? Yan po yung mga congressmen na mga tumanggap ng malay-maleta. Number 1, si Benny Abante. Number 2, si Akop, patay na. Nanalo pa ngayon, maraming pera iniwan para ikampanya ng anak niya. Number 3, si Representative Sia Adjong, Alonto Adjong. Number 4, si Representative Jose Alvarez. Number 5, si Toto James Jojo Ang Jr. Toto kasi Ilonggo siya ng chick eh. Tapos si Representative Julian Baronda, Ilongga rin ito sa Iloilo City na congresswoman. Baulente. Hindi ka nagalit tikalon, Inday Julian? Ano ka pa? Kabatan? Body puta. Ganon din si former Representative Robert Ace Barbers. Ano ba yun, Ace? Hindi ka lang pala, makwento. Marami ka rin, may maleta ka rin pala. Ganon din si Representative Menchi Bernos ng Abra. Maganda ka pa naman sana, kaya lang kawatan, mukha eh. Ganon din si former Representative Arlene Brosas. Mga hinahangaan ko ito. Si former Representative Franz Castro. Hinangaan ko tapos nakatanggap din pala ng maleta. Ito si Representative Joey Chua. Ay tumanggap din pala. Ito pa si Representative Manuel Jose Manix Dalipi. Nakatanggap din. Pati si Representative Leila de Lima. Nakatanggap din. Si Representative former Danilo Fernandez. Nakatanggap din. Si Representative Janet Garin. Aba, mga linte, no? Damo na nabaton mong Inday Janet. Na kwarta. Tagay man tabi. Ito naman, iba. Nakatanggap din malay-maleta. Yan, si dating Congressman Aurelio Dung Gonzales. Si Congressman Jefferson J. Kunghon. Si Congresswoman Jervel Locaret Loestro. Si Congressman Representative Raul Manuel. Akala ko NPA ka, nakatanggap ka naman pala ng pera. Si Congressman Ferdinand Alexander Marcos. Si Congressman Francisco Paulo Taba Ortega siguro dinidibdib dito na tinatawag ko siyang taba, nagpapayat siya eh. Si Congressman, dating Congressman si Mr. Contempt Jose Joseph Stephen Paduano. Siguro kada contempt nito 5 milyon. Si dating Congressman Representative Stella Kimbo. Isa pa ito, dinidelibera ng mali-maleta ang pera. Si Representative Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, billion ang ninakaw. Si Representative David J.J. Suarez, billion din ang ninakaw. Si Senador na dating Congressman Erwin Tulfo, the only senator siya dito nakalista. Grabe. Paano ngayon yan? Ito po sila, mga yung aktibo pa po. Sila po yung nagbuto-buto na shortcutin nila yung impeachment laban kay Sara Duterte. So, ang inuutos po sa ating proseso ng batas, ano ang gagawin nila? Ito pong inutos, basahin ko ulit. At ang utos po na ito ay nanggaling po sa House of Representatives. Mismo ang pangkalahatan na House ang bumuto. Tapos babaliin lamang ng committee. Ang member ng committee ko, konti lang. Ayan, Section 6. Nag-vote sa Section 6 na magsasubmit. So, nagsubmit na si Sara within 10 days. Tapos, sa answer ni Sara, kung ano yung pagsagot niya, karapatan niya kung paano yung sasagutin. So, tapos dapat within 3 days, ay sasagutin na ng kalaban. Hindi sumagot ang kalaban. Kasi sabi ng kalaban, ang kanilang reklamo daw ay hindi naman sinagot ni Sara. Ang katwiran naman ni Sara Duterte ay walang ultimate facts ang reklamo na nakasulat sa impeachment complaint kaya wala silang sasagutin. Pagkatapos, kung wala, kaya ang ginawa na, wala silang sinagot, kundi isinagot na nila ay affirmative defenses na tinatawag namin. Ano ibig sabihin ng affirmative defenses? Yan po yung mga grounds na tinatawag na lack of jurisdiction. Oy, mahal kong anak, Maria Alexandra Tugas, you're listening, pakihalik mo ko kay Cheska. Sabi lang, sige, mag-usap tayo may tawagan kita. Paki-like pati si Ann sana kung kahit sa MSU, sa Mindanao State University, ang isang anak ko nag-aaral sa Mindanao State University sa General Santos City. So, mayap to kay Galaxy, Hill Kakal, Ma'am Cara David, ulitin niyo po yung mag-wish sa birthday niyo. Baka pwedeng madagdagan, mapagalanan na. Si Gregorio Babaran, chismis is our only content. No more, no less. Nagkubli sa batas kuno, puro haka-haka. Ay, sabi mo lang yan, Gregorio Babaran. Bakit nakinig ka kung chismis ito? Ang balita ko nga si Northcat, chismis ba yun? Ito to naman nangyari. Galaxy, Raymond Ribucas, pulos bumaliktad na. So palpal naman si Marcolita, pumunta sa kumbate. Walang alam sa house rules. Attorney, payuhan mo Marcolita. Hindi, nag-iisa lang siya Wala siyang kasama, wala si Bong Suntay. Si Malone Faith Survivor Mixed Vlogs at Team Maleta versus Team Marcoleta. Maria Alexandra Tugas, magandang tanghali. Daddy, Dr. Toto, Emmanuel Tasara, pa-shoutout po, araw-araw po nakikinig sa inyo. Maraming salamat. Gregory Babaran, gaslighting na, hirsi pa. Napakatili mo talaga, Mang Toto. Edgar Nacion, King Jacob Lohorte, so Greg Babaran, wala tayong magagawa, Greg, kasi wala namang senior cut naman ng mga kakampi mo. Shortcut sa kagaral ni mo. Galit na galit ka, Bienvenido. Incabo. Okay. King Jacob Lohorte, sa Congress, ipon-ipon ang mga maleta. Okay, mga maleta story yan So mabubuksan kaya bang account ni ko ng Congress? Ayawan ko sa kanila. Tingnan na lang natin. Kay Jacob Lohorte, wala kasi malakas na ebidensya. May nagmamando kay si Sandro Marcos na nagmamando dyan at tatay niya ang nagmamando dyan. Kaya tagilid na talaga sila. Bernard Magtibay, tapos si Raymond Ribucas. Ano ngayon mangyari sa Congress? By hook or by crook, dapat sabi ni Joma, by hook or by crook, dapat ma-impeach talaga nila si BP Sara kasi mapakulong lahat sila na magnanakaw sa kaban natin. Peter Alodino, Empanada, Ben Maruerte, Elsa Aquino. Okay? O talakayin natin para maintindihan nyo kung bakit shortcut. Una, pinakita ko sa inyo yung proseso ng impeachment. Sa level na pagkatapos ko may sagot na binigay si Sara, dapat ang kasunod ay tingnan natin sa Section 7. Okay. Dapat ang gagawin nila ay ang utos magsusumiti ng evidence at saka memoranda. So sa pagsumiti, may relasyon siya sa Section 6. At nakalagay dito na ang mga affidavit at counter affidavit na sinumiti ay dapat magkaroon ng magkaroon ng pagsusuri para madetermina nila kung may sufficient grounds para ang complaint for impeachment. Para sa susunod, magpresenta sila ng ebidensya. So, sabi pa nito, if it finds that sufficient grounds for impeachment do not exist, the committee shall dismiss the complaint and submit the report required hereunder. If the committee finds that sufficient grounds for impeachment exist, the committee shall conduct a hearing. The committee, through the chairperson, may limit the period of examination and cross-examination by members of the committee. So, ibig sabihin, kanina pala dapat ay mag-cross-examination at mag-examine at saka mag-cross-examine. Ang nangyari po, wala pong cross-examination na nangyari. Kaya, shortcut. Ginawa nilang shortcut. Ladies and gentlemen, may tanong. Excuse ba sila mag-cross-exam dahil hindi nagbigay ng sagot na punto por punto si Sara? Excuse ba itong mga congresswomen? Excuse ba sila si Congresswoman Lucarit Luistro? Ang utos sa inyo mag-conduct ng cross-examination. Bakit hindi kayo nag-cross-exam? At bumuto-buto na kayo na isunod na kasunod na proseso. Pagkatapos ng cross-exam, ay dapat magsumiti ng memoranda. So, anong ginawa nila? Nagbuto-buto na sila kagad direkta. Wala man lang silang pagsusuri sa bawat isa na reklamo. Wala silang ginawang pagsusuri sa bawat isang reklamo. Ang mga affidavit doon ng mga testigo, dapat sinuri na yun. So, ibig sabihin, nakikita na naman natin kasunod, ay hindi naman rin sila kasunod is shortcut na naman nila. Nakalagay pa rito, hearings before the committee shall be open to the public. Open nga, pero wala tayong nakikita na hearing. Nagkwentuhan lang sila tapos nagbutuhan. Walang ginawa. So, ibig sabihin, ano ba dapat ginawa na kanina? So, kanina, ang ina-expect natin, yung mga nagreklamo laban kay Sara ay may sinumiti na tinatawag na affidavit, counter affidavit, at saka mga dokumento na kakabit sa affidavit. Yan ang nangyari. So ngayon, anong kasunod na dapat gagawin na kung meron nakakabit? Maaring ang sinamiti ni Sara ay walang nakakabit na affidavit. Yan ba dahil si Sara hindi nabigay ng mga affidavit ng kanyang testigo? Yan ba ay rason para hindi rin nila usisain mga affidavit ng nag-aakusa ng kay Sara? Yan ang tanong. At walang nakalagay sa proseso ninyo na exemption kapag hindi sumagot, hindi nagbigay ng kontra demanda si Sara, ay hindi nakalagay rito na excuse na wala nang pag-uusisa sa bawat reklamo. Dapat inusisa nyo. Paano kayo nagdesisyon na binutuhan ninyo na sufficient na padiretso sa sunod na proseso? Wala man lang kayong pag-usisa na ginawa. Kundi, sinabi nyo lang yung katotohanan na wala daw sinumiti na kontra-ebidensya sa bawat akusasyon si Sara Duterte. Remember, may ginawa siyang sagot. General statement ka lang. Pero hindi po yan nag-excuse sa inyo na hindi na kayo mag-usisa sa ebidensya ng kontra ni Sara. Dapat inusisa nyo muna bago kayo nagbuto-buto para dalhin nyo sa sunod na step. Okay, pakinggan natin ang ginawa nila. Maiksing ginawa nila. Ayan po, ginawa nila ha. Tingnan natin.
Pag-issue ng notices of suspension in the discussion. Ground number.
Pakinggan mo na natin.
Beginning with, sa huli, kung malinaw ang tanong at it's pages upon pages, with, hindi po ito
Pakinggan natin.
Honorable Emilio P. Tanwato III, Honorable King Jr., Honorable Lawrence.
The committee will now proceed to the reading and approval of the minutes of the meetings
Ay, wala yan.
held on February. The Honorable Dilima.
I move to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting and for its approval.
For the resumption of the impeachment proceedings against the Vice President. Today's agenda is simple, yet heavy with consequence. We reiterate that we are not here to decide guilt or innocence. Hindi po ito paglilitis. Hindi pa. We are here for one question. Isang tanong lang. May sapat bang batayan para ituloy ang proseso ng impeachment? That is the only question before us today. Are there sufficient grounds to proceed? Sufficient grounds. That is the question. Wala nang iba. Let us be clear. Today is not about judgment. Today is about justification. Hindi tayo huhusga. Titingnan lang natin kung may dahilan para magpatuloy. To recall, this committee began with 4 impeachment complaints. The first was set aside dahil sa posibleng paglabag sa 1-year bar rule. The second was withdrawn, with the complainants opting to support the third complaint, which brings us now to the third and fourth complaints, the Zabalia et al. Complaint and the Cabrera complaint. Both complaints underwent scrutiny. Both were tested. Pinag-usapan ng mabuti, pinagdebatehan ng matindi, sinuri sa bawat anggulo. Every allegation was questioned. Every point was challenged. Every argument was tested. At tandaan po natin, hindi lang ito ilang pahina. These complaints came with voluminous records, pages upon pages, with annexes and supporting documents. Hindi lang binasa, ito ay inaral. And at the end of that long process, both the Zabalia et al. Complaint and the Cabrera complaint were found sufficient in form and substance. At bakit mahalaga iyon? Because the accusations are not trivial. They are serious, they are weighty, they demand answers. Kabilang dito ang mga aligasyon ng banta sa buhay ng presidente at iba pang opisyal, hindi maipaliwanag na yaman, paglabag sa SALN requirements, panunuhol, at maling paggamit ng confidential funds. Kung ganito kabigat ang mga paratang, hindi pwedeng manahimik. Kailangan itong sagutin. Following the rules, the Vice President was furnished copies of the complaints. She was given the opportunity to respond. Iyan po ang due process. Sa proseso, lahat binibigyan ng pagkakataong magpaliwanag. And she responded. She submitted her answer, 15 pages, with 5 annexes, signed by 16 lawyers, 16 na abogado. And this is crucial. Ito lang ang bago sa atin ngayon. Not the impeachment complaints, because those have already been reviewed, debated, and tested. Not the allegations, because those have already been examined in detail. Ang reklamo laban sa Vice Presidente, napagdaanan na. Ang sagot ng Vice Presidente, iyan ang bago. So today, we do not go back to square one. We do not repeat what has already been done. Ang susuriin natin ngayon ay ang sagot ng Vice Presidente, ang tugon niya sa reklamo. Which brings us to this moment to determine whether there are sufficient grounds to proceed. So we ask, did the answer clear the air? Did it refute the allegations? Did it address the seriousness of the charges? Because remember, when the accusations are heavy, the answer must be heavier. At ito ang sentro ng ating pag-uusapan ngayon. Hindi na ang reklamo, napag-usapan na natin yan. Ang sentro ngayon ay ang sagot. Kung mabigat ang paratang, dapat matibay ang paliwanag. So we focus, esteemed colleagues, on the answer, on its clarity, on its sufficiency. At higit sa lahat, kung ito ba ay diretsyong sumagot sa mga paratang, not evasion, not generalities, kundi malinaw at direktang pagsagot sa bawat aligasyon. And at the end of the day, we return to the question, now that the answer is before us, do we still have sufficient grounds to proceed? Did the answer overturn our earlier finding of sufficiency in form and substance? Did it change anything? Did it weaken?
Kaya, yung unang proseso bago ito, tinawag yan na kung mayroong sustansya, sapat ba ang sustansya, sufficient ba ang substance. Ang nakalagay po sa proseso nila na hindi nila pwede baguhin ay titignan lamang kung sapat ang pagkakwento ng detalye. Detalye! At hindi hanapan ng ebidensya. So ang ginawa nila nung nakaraan, hinanapan lang ng ebidensya, pero hindi, ang tawag nito, pahapyaw na at pagtingin sa mga ebidensya. Yun po ay tinatawag na sufficiency in substance, although mali na kinukontra ko. Ngayon, ang next step nila ay usisain isa-isa ang ebidensya na sinumiti kung sapat ba para magtuloy sa tinatawag na paghihiring nila. So ano ang pag-usisa nila? Ang mga testigo nila, paupuin nila at tatanungin. Yan po nakalagay dito sa kanilang proseso. Tingnan natin, basahin natin uli ang proseso na nakabatas nila na sinusunod dapat. Ang problema ng batas nila sa impeachment ay binabago ng committee lamang. Ano ba yung committee? Committee lang yan. Dapat hindi yan binabago ng committee. Yan. So, submission of evidence and memoranda. Pagkatapos matanggap ang sagot, mga saraysay sa kasama sa mga sagot at mga dokumento na sinumiti sa pamamagitan ng utos sa Section 6, ito yung Section 6. Sa loob ng 10 araw mula sa pasubali, ano bang gagawin ng committee? Ang committee ay magdetermina kung ang reklamo ay sapat na may grounds, ibig sabihin may ebidensya ba para sa impeachment. Dapat titingin sila sa ebidensya. Anong ginawa nila dito? Usisain natin dito, pabilisin lang natin ang proseso nila. I-fast track ko lang. Makikita ninyo na hindi nila sinuri ang ebidensya ng mga nagreklamo. Kahit pahapaw na tingin lamang, hindi lang ginawa. Kaya, ang nangyari, nagbuto-buto kagad. At bubuto sila na mayroong nga raw sapat na dahilan para itutuloy ang impeachment complaint. Yan po ang ginawa nila. So, if the committee finds that sufficient grounds for impeachment exist, the committee shall conduct a hearing. So, ang susunod, gagawin lang, magsasagawa sila ng hearing expected. Pero hindi nila inusisa ang mga ebidensya muna na pahapaw pagtingin. Diniretso, nagbuto-buto na kagad sila. O, tingnan natin kung anong ginawa nila. Dali lang. Remove. Ipasok natin yung ano.
Dahil sa huli, kung malinaw ang tanong at malinaw ang batas, dapat malinaw. Our agenda today is the determination of the sufficiency of the grounds for impeachment complaints against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte. In this regard, the committee notes the appearance ad cautelam and consolidated verified answer ad cautelam filed by the respondent, which was received by the committee on March 9, 2026, 4:25 p.m. That is for electronic. And on March 16, 2026, and for electronic filing at 4:30 p.m. The committee further notes the manifestation of waiver to file reply submitted by complainants Reverend Father Joel Saballa et al. And complainant Attorney Nathaniel Cabrera. The same were received on March 17, 2026, and on March 18, 2026. Before we proceed, we would like to hear, of course, we wish to place on record that copy of the appearance ad cautelam, notice of appearance, consolidated verified answer ad cautelam, including the manifestation of waiver of the third impeachment complaint, as well as the fourth impeachment complaint, were provided already ahead of our today's hearing to the members of the Justice Committee. With that, esteemed colleagues, we would like to proceed to our deliberation proper, beginning with the position of our endorsers with respect to the sufficiency in ground. May we call first the endorser of the third impeachment complaint, the Saballa et al. Impeachment complaint.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And before that, this representation as the endorser of the third or Saballa et al. Complaint wishes to confirm that indeed the complainants filed a manifestation of waiver to file their reply. And it's because after careful study of the consolidated verified answer ad cautelam, complainants in the Saballa et al. Impeachment complaint are of the position and concurred in by this representation that the same failed to controvert the material allegations in the complaint. The consolidated verified answer does not specifically address the allegations raised in the complaint. We also note that the answer still harps on the issue of sufficiency in substance, when that very issue has been earlier or already settled by the positive declaration of an overwhelming majority of this committee. The rest of the points raised in the answer evince a confusion between ultimate facts and evidentiary facts. So, since the answer does not specifically traverse the material allegations, nor provide a substantive counter version of the facts, there is nothing for the complainants to respond to. And that's why, for these reasons, complainants deemed it unnecessary to file a reply. So that is a confirmation of the manifestation of complainants of waiver to file a reply. Now, the core agenda today is the determination of the sufficiency of the grounds in the complaints. Now, we all know, I just have to read what is reflected or stated in the complaint itself. about the 6 grounds. Ground number 1, VP Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust by committing plunder and all malversation, graft and corruption and other high crimes in amassing and converting the amount of not less than 500 million pesos from the confidential funds allocated to the Office of the Vice President for the years 2022 and 2023. Ground number 2, VP Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust by committing plunder and all malversation, graft and corruption and other high crimes in amassing and converting the amount of not less than 112,500,000 pesos from the confidential funds allocated to the Department of Education for the year 2023. Ground number 3, VP Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed public trust by corrupting and bribing officials of the Department of Education. Ground number 4, VP Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayed public trust, and committed high crimes in contracting to murder or assassinate the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House. Ground number 5, VP Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed public trust in amassing unexplained wealth and failing to disclose all of her properties and interests in properties in her SAL-N in violation of Section 17, Article 11 of the Constitution. And the last ground, ground number 6, VP Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust in committing acts of political destabilization and the high crimes of sedition and insurrection. We will please all note that there are 5 constitutional general grounds alleged in the complaint: culpable violation of the Constitution, graft and corruption, bribery, other high crimes, and betrayal of public trust. And you will please also recall that in the discussion on the sufficiency of substance, actually, the matter about the existence of these grounds have been touched already, in addition to the determination of the discussion or the inquiry into the sufficiency in substance of the complaint. So I see no reason why we will have to go through incisively into this alleged grounds, the enumerated grounds in the Sabalia et al. Complaint. But in the first place, as I expressed earlier, the answer did not specifically controvert any of those material allegations. They are deemed admitted. Only a general denial can be said to have been interposed. But was there, in fact, an answer to the material allegations? Yung mga tungkol po doon sa pagbanta nga po sa Pangulo at iba pang opisyal, tungkol din po sa malverse ng mga pera, yung hindi pagkaka-explain ng mga confidential funds, anomalous disbursements, yung mga certification ng VP Sara, siya mismo ang pumirma, yung mga liquidation vouchers, liquidation reports, accomplishment reports, siya mismo ang pumirma, yung pag-deliver ng perang ito, doon na nakita natin doon sa affidavit as attached to the complaint ng Mr. Ramil Madriaga, kung saan napunta, hindi ito doon sa mga tamang gamit para sa confidential funds. Walang sagot tungkol doon sa mga notices of suspension, pag-issue ng notices of suspension, notices of disallowance. Wala po yan. Wala silang sagot tungkol doon. Wala din sagot tungkol doon sa mga envelopes na yon na dinistribute to certain DepEd officials. Nasaan yung mga sagot sa mga tanong na yan? Nasaan ang sagot tungkol sa non-disclosure sa SAL-Ns ng tamang yaman, yung talagang tunay na yaman ng VP Sara? Yun po ang mga tinatawag ng mga material allegations. And yun din, ang mga allegations na yan ang nagko-constitute ng mga grounds na binanggit sa complaint, pero walang sagot. So no, it's pointless really to further scrutinize whether indeed there are sufficient grounds, because that has been exhaustively discussed already in relation to the issue of the sufficiency in substance. So I humbly and respectfully submit to this honorable committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dilima.
Gano'n lang, tinanggap na lang agad. Hindi man lang inusisa ang lahat ng ebidensya ni Dilima. Pero mo, maniwala na lang siya sa sasabihin ni Dilima na may ebidensya siya. Puro lang ng salita, walang pinakita kahit isang ebidensya doon sa lahat ng akusasyon niya. So ganun ka shortcut ang ginawa nila. Susunod.
Before we proceed, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Robert Nazal from BH Party List. And of course, the Honorable JCM Abalos from 4PS Party List, deputized by the Honorable Minority Leader Marcelino C. Libanan. The committee takes note of the endorser's confirmation of the manifestation of waiver to file a reply of the complainant. But may I know, Honorable Dilima, if there are complainants present today to further confirm the manifestation of the waiver of the filing of reply?
Madam Chair.
The gentleman is recognized.
Congressman Fortes.
The Honorable Fortes is recognized.
Yeah, Madam Chair, just a point of inquiry. Considering that answer has been filed, issues has been joined, the answer has been duly signed by counsel of the respondent, VP Sara. Does the rule of the impeachment under the House allow the respondent to be represented at this point of time of the proceedings by the respective counsel?
Reading from the rule, Honorable Fortes, the proceeding before the Justice Committee is for the Justice members only. If indeed the participation of lawyers of the parties are allowed, the same are limited to assisting the respective clients.
Thank you for the clarification, Madam Chair. But in the same way that the Chair is inquiring as to the presence of the complainants who would confirm the waiver, will VP Sara, if she so decides, appear before these proceedings at this point in time? In the same way that complainants will be allowed to
The
confirm.
proper time for the parties to participate, which includes the complainant, the witnesses, and the respondent, will be the hearing during the hearing proper. That will happen after the determination of whether or not there's sufficient ground that supports the impeachment complaint. The only reason why we are asking the endorser if there are complainants who are present is because it is provided under the rules that they may file a reply in a period of 3 days from receipt of the answer. The Committee on Justice is in receipt, of course, of the manifestation of the waiver. But since the confirmation was done by the endorser, we will be able to substantiate it more, or perhaps confirm it more if there are complainant or perhaps lawyer who can further attest to the manifestation of the waiver of filing of reply.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I raised that inquiry, if only to put on record that this committee is fully compliant with the due process requirement as mandated by the rules.
Thank you, Honorable Cortez. Honorable Dilima.
In response to the query of the Honorable Chair, Madam Chair, as to the presence of the complainants, there are no complainants at today's hearing, at today's proceedings, but they have executed an SPA, special power of attorney, in favor of the law firm of Sapayan, Lim, Alvarez, and Ligutan, or the Saligal Law, and Attorney Amando Virgil Ligutan, and or any of the attorneys or lawyers. And Attorney Amando Virgil Ligutan is present today to confirm that indeed an SPA was executed in his favor as representative, not really counsel, but representative of the complainants of the Sabaya et al. Complaint.
We value the confirmation of the Honorable De Lima, but for purposes of the record, we would like to take advantage of the presence of the lawyers. So may we call one of the lawyers of the complainant? ComSec, kindly administer the oath for the confirmation of the manifestation of waiver of the filing of reply. Kindly approach the microphone, Attorney Ligutan.
Good morning. I am Attorney Amando Virgil Ligutan. I am the representative duly equipped with duly signed and notarized special power of attorney to appear on behalf of the named complainants, Your Honor. So I confirm that this representation.
If I may interrupt Attorney Ligutan, we are directing the Secretary to administer the oath first before he makes his confirmation of the filing of the manifestation of waiver.
Yes, please
ComSec,
raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this committee?
I do.
you may now proceed, Attorney Ligutan.
All right. So good morning, Madam Chair. On behalf of the named complainants of the third impeachment complaints, I confirm that we are formally filing our manifestation to file a waiver to file a reply to the Vice President's answer. The justifications are written in the two-page manifestation that we filed for the sole reason that the Vice President failed through her legal team to refute specifically each and every material allegation in that 98-page complaints. For that reason, the complainants deem it unnecessary to reply to the Vice President's non-answer, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Ligutan. I just want to place it on record that the participation of Attorney Ligutan in today's hearing is in his capacity as attorney in fact for the purpose of filing and confirming the manifestation of waiver to file a reply. So with that, we place on record that Attorney Ligutan confirmed already the filing of the manifestation of the waiver of reply. The lawyer is now excused from participating in our proceeding.
Thank you so much.
We've heard the position of the endorser of Sabalia et al. Complaint as to the sufficiency in ground of the third impeachment complaint. The floor is now open for comments and manifestations of the justice members.
Ganun lang kadali, oh. Walang pag-uusisa. Maniniwala na lang siya sa
Madam Chair.
pumirma ng reklamo.
The Honorable Rodriguez.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I have read the consolidated verified answer and act cautelam with caution. And certainly, I would express my disappointment with the legal team of the Vice President, who has 16 lawyers who have signed this particular answer. In an answer, the grounds which were averted to in the third complaint, 6 grounds, should have been answered one by one, because there is a finding by the committee of sufficiency in substance of the 6, although I would like to state that of the 6, I find that those with substance sufficiency is the first and the fourth ground. The other 4 are not. But however, since the committee voted for the entire third complaint to be sufficient in substance, it moves upon the lawyers. I have been, I was a practicing lawyer before, and quite some time, and I have met many of the lawyers of the Vice President. They're very good. However, in this case, there is no answer to the 6 grounds of the third complaint, and also no direct answer to the 5 grounds. There were 8 grounds in the fourth complaint, but the 6 to 8 complaints were found by the committee to just be corroborative to the first and the 5th grounds. In the fourth complaint, I find that the first 2 has sufficiency in substance, the 3 do not. But therefore, I'm surprised that in this particular case, there is no discussion per ground, and therefore would not give us the real answer of the respondent to the 6 and 5 grounds. 6 in the third complaint, 5 in the fourth complaint. However, Mr. Chair, reading this, there is indeed, I'm only interested in the answer on the 125 million confidential funds in 2022 of the Vice President. And there is an answer. This is paragraph 24. This is page 5 of the answer, consolidated answer. For this 125 confidential funds, the only answer of the Vice President is that in its deliberations of the Sabalian Cabrera complaints, this committee disregarded the petition for review in Sara Zay Duterte versus Neil David Taras, docketed as COA CP number 2024-0194, before the Commission on Audit, COA, Commission proper. Notwithstanding that the subject of that appeal is the notice of disallowance involving the same confidential funds that constitute the principal basis of the accusation therein. Significantly, the matter remains pending and unresolved, and any ruling of the COA would, in any event, remain subject to final judicial review of the Supreme Court. A bare answer to definite allegations, ultimate facts in the third complaint and the fourth complaint. So, but this also would, at the same time, provide the committee the obligation to hear the case, to hear the COA on precisely, because I have heard the Vice President say that many case will be explained. 11 days will explain of the 125 million, but unfortunately it's not here. But I would say that there is an answer, but precisely it does not have the facts that would constitute the real answer, so a hearing would be required on this particular matter. There is therefore sufficiency of ground for the ground of the 125 million confidential fund. Next, the next one, where there are just 2 grounds that I'm saying there is sufficiency in substance. The next one is the threat against the President, the First Lady, the Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez, by the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. The only answer here is on page 9, paragraph 53. This is the only thing that would answer those ultimate facts stated in both the third complaint and the fourth complaint. And may I read, therefore, the answer of the respondent to this threat. It says here, the impeachment complaints likewise brazenly accuse the Vice President of entering into a supposed contract to kill. Yet they fail to present any shred of proof that any such contract ever existed. Instead, complainants rely on exaggerated conclusions dressed up as fact. With a very short answer, Madam Chair, this therefore requires, to me, a hearing on this particular issue, which is ground number 4 in the third complaint and ground number 2 in the fourth complaint. So as far as these two, Madam Chair, I find there is sufficient grounds to continue with the hearing of this case. And since the others were not also, Madam Chair, the others were not clearly answered to, ground by ground, then the decision of the committee stands that there is sufficiency in substance in all the 6 grounds under the complaint, the third complaint, and the 5 grounds under the fourth complaint. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Rodriguez. The Honorable Chua.
Wala, hindi tinanong isa-isang mga akusasyon, mga ebidensya nila ni Rodriguez. Hindi man lang pinakita, hindi inusisa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I would just like to give my observation with respect to the consolidated verified answer ad cautelam of the respondent, the Honorable Vice President. Madam Chair, this is the title itself is likewise similar to the previous answer that they filed during the 19th Congress. It was also a verified answer ad cautelam. So meaning to say, they are now questioning the jurisdiction of this committee without rebutting or answering the accusation point by point. Madam Chair, I understand that we have already decided about the jurisdiction. Therefore, I will no longer lay down the premise with respect to this. Now, it is also quite interesting, Madam Chair, and from the reading of paragraph 1, it appears that this consolidated verified answer is somehow or similar to a motion to dismiss. Because, if I may read, Madam Chair, what is written under paragraph 1, it provides that, and I quote, no different from the 2025 articles of impeachment filed against respondent before the Senate and declared void ab initio by the Supreme Court in Duterte versus House of Representatives, this impeachment complaint must be dismissed. Under our rules, Madam Chair, this is a prohibited pleading, Madam Chair. So, aside from that, Madam Chair, in addition to what the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez had said, if we will read the verified answer, this is, we will arrive into a conclusion that this is a general denial. Now, under the, Madam Chair, it is well settled principle that under the rules of court, that a denial is not specific simply because it is so qualified by the defendant. A general denial does not become specific by the use of the word specifically. Paragraph 4 of BP Duterte's consolidated verified answer ad cautelam is, in substance, precisely of such nature. More so, nothing in the said answer controverts the allegation raised in the Sabala complaint. And therefore, all allegations, Madam Chair, in the complaint stand as they were never rebutted. And therefore, Madam Chair, I believe that because of this, we need to conduct a hearing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Again, for the guidance of the justice members, we are not moving backward. We are moving forward. As I have stated in the opening statement, we have discussed thoroughly already the impeachment complaints. What we need to discuss today is the answer, whether that reduces the sufficient ground required to be able to proceed to the hearing proper. The Honorable Ilago is recognized.
Yes, maraming salamat, Madam Chair. At tungkol lang sa usapin ng due process, hindi po ang standards ng mga members ng committee ang tinitignan kung na-violate ba talaga ang due process, kundi ang pagsunod sa rules of procedure ng kapulungan na ito pagdating sa impeachment proceedings. At malinaw sa rules of procedure, pagdating sa impeachment proceedings ng kapulungan na ito, may mga private citizens na nag-file ng verified impeachment complaint at ito ay na-endorso ng members ng House of Representatives. Nasama rin sa order of business, nagkaroon ng referral sa House Committee on Justice. Sa proceedings mismo, nagkaroon ng determination kung sufficient ba in form and in substance ang bawat impeachment complaint. Nailatag din ang jurisdiction ng committee at si VP Sara naman po ay isang impeachable officer at may ultimate facts na tumutukoy sa grounds na nailahad ng mga complaints. Nakita rin ng mayorya ng members ng Committee on Justice na hindi sufficient in substance ang mga complaints. Ngayon, nabigyan na nga ng pagkakataon si VP Sara Duterte na mag-file ng kanyang reply, ngunit hindi naman niya na-address ang mga grounds doon sa mga nasabing impeachment complaint. Ayan. Kaya, Madam Chair, hayaan nyo na lang na maibahagi ko rin sa kapulungan na ito na tayo po ay isa, consistent doon sa sinabi natin na sufficient po in substance yung mga impeachment complaint, ay naniniwala din po tayo na sufficient pagdating sa grounds ito pong third impeachment complaint at sapat po ang batayan para magpatuloy sa hearing ang impeachment complaint laban kay Vice Presidente Sara Duterte. Sa ilalim nga po ng ating konstitusyon, maaaring tanggalin sa pwesto sa pamamagitan ng impeachment ang Presidente, Vice Presidente, magistrado ng Supreme Court, members ng Constitutional Commissions at Ombudsman dahil sa culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft, and corruption, other high crimes or betrayal of public trust. At ayaw ko na nga po sana ulitin, no? Dahil po sinabi ng ating Madam Chair na hindi tayo babalik dun sa mga pag-usapan na pagdesisyon na ng mayoryang nakapulungan ito. Ngunit talaga naman pong hindi matatawaran yung bigat ng mga accusation hinggil sa maling paggamit ng 500 million pesos sa confidential funds sa ilalim ng OVP at 112.5 million pesos sa ilalim ng DepEd. Higit po na nakakabahala yung paggamit din ng mga peking pangalan at dokumento upang pagtakpan ng korupsyon sa OVP at DepEd. At ang pondong ito ay mula sa kaban ng bayan at mula sa buwis ng bawat Pilipino. Ngunit ginamit ng VP ayon sa kanyang kagustuhan sa tabing ng pagiging confidential nito. Umano, no? Kaya po, hindi talaga matatawaran yung bigat ng accusations na ito at nakakabahala rin po yung accusation sa pag-hire ng assassin para pumatay. Sa mga maliliit po na tao, nakukulong agad no, sa pagnanakaw ng delata para lang makakain o may pagpatay agad sa mga ordinaryong mamamayan kapag po naakusahan na sangkot sa gera kontra droga. Pero bakit po sa pangalawa na pinakamataas natin na opisyal sa pamahalaan ay wala kang pananagutan. Yan. Kaya po, sa pangkabuuan, malakas po talaga ang basis para magpatuloy sa impeachment.
Wala,
Meron pong dalawang impeachment complaints na kinakaharap si VP Sara. No, sana po ay nagkaroon ng oras, nagkaroon ng pagdetalye, ng pagsagot no, sa mga bawat paragraph, bawat recital of ultimate fact, no, bawat ground na inaakusahan ng publiko si VP Sara. Sana po naging oportunidad ito para namnamin no, ng House Committee on Justice, yung mga miyembro nito, yung iba't ibang posibleng depensa ni VP Sara ng sufficiency in form, sufficiency in substance,
That while some members wish to manifest on a per ground basis, just like what the Honorable Rodriguez did, I wish to share to the members that under Section 7, what is being determined is the complaint's sufficiency in ground. In other words, we will be later on voting on the sufficiency in ground of the entire impeachment complaint and not per ground. Nevertheless, the committee welcomes the manifestation on specific ground if that is the desire of the justice members. Any other member who wishes to manifest on the sufficiency in ground of the third impeachment complaint? The Honorable
Wala, bakit puro manifestation? Mali man yung ginawa mong proseso, Jinky Luistro. Jinky Lucaret Luistro. Sinishortcut ninyo. Ang dinidiscuss ninyo, hindi nyo dinidiscuss ang reklamo ninyo laban kay Sara. At hindi niya pinapakita mga kung bakit may grounds ang bawat ebidensya ninyo laban kay Sara. Bakit naman gano'n? Bakit hindi kayo patas?
Tino?
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Tingin ko maaaring panindigan ng kinatawang ito na sapat at matibay ang mga batayan o ang grounds.
Yep.
Hindi na kailanman sinabing hindi
Nagkwentuhan
totoo.
kayo eh.
Kawalan ng destabilization at kaugnayan.
Sapat ang inyong ebidensya pero wala kayong pinakita.
Kinakailangang harapin ng Vice Presidente ang formal na
Is the filing of responsive pleadings. That includes the answer to Tuason, Deputy Majority Leader. We also acknowledge the Honorable Janice Degamo from the 3rd District of Negros Oriental. Expiration of the time within which they may be filed, the committee shall determine whether the complaint alleges sufficient grounds for impeachment. That is for the satisfaction of the Honorable Marcoleta.
May I know, Madam Chair, when the rules were promulgated?
This
Not
has
very
been the
copy.
rules of impeachment of the 19th Congress, which the 20th Congress adopted.
So it's not new. Hindi po siya bago.
This has been part of the previous rules, which were used during the past impeachment processes.
Opo, kasi bago lang po sa akin yung sufficiency in grounds. Hindi ko po narinig yan sa mga dating proceedings. Yun lang po. Salamat po.
There are no other manifestations on the third impeachment complaint, then we are calling the endorser of the fourth impeachment complaint to manifest their position on the sufficiency in ground.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega.
together with my co-endorser, the Honorable Benito Abante, batay naman po sa ating manifestation at waiver po na pinadala. Nakikita naman po natin na wala pong direktang mga sagot.
The Vice President, is precise.
Hindi yung sagot ni Sara ang hinahanap diyan. Ang inyong akusasyon dapat ilatag ninyo at patunayan ninyo na kahit walang sagot si Sara ay sapat ang inyong reklamo. But the problem is you are only saying na may sapat na basa ng reklamo, wala kayong pinapakitang ebidensya na makikita ng tao rito na nanonood sa live stream. Ang problema sa inyo, masyado na kayong nabayas eh. O Mr. Ridon, Mr. Bin Ridon, the pinakabubo na graduate ng UP. College of Law na nakita ko.
Her opportunity through this answer to undertake all of these due process mechanisms. No? Pero she did not avail of it and had in fact submitted what we deem as a non-answer. So yun po yung una on due process. Secondly, on ultimate facts, yung po makasama natin kanina, binanggit na ho nila na hindi ho totoo na wala pong pagbanggit ng ultimate facts on confidential funds, on the death threats against the President, the First Lady.
Asan nga,
in a
puro
supposed
lang
misuse
kayo
of confidential
kwento, hindi kayo nag-lay down ng ebidensya. Ang hinahanap ng tao, ebidensya. Kaya kwento lang kayo.
funds. Second, yung pong video documentation of the press conference of the Vice President, kung saan siya po ay nagbanta laban sa Pangulo, First Lady, the determination of sufficiency in grounds, and you have to be able to vote on it today, Madam Chair, and move forward. Maraming salamat po.
Ay lumalampas o naghahalo ng mga yugto ng proceedings na malino na pinaghiwalay ang ating ng ating rules on impeachment. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
To reiterate, Honorable Marcoleta, the Chair has been stating that we are on the third step, that is the determination of sufficiency in ground. So all these proceedings are towards determining whether or not sufficient ground exists to be able to proceed to this impeachment proceeding. It is only after the declaration of whether or not there is sufficient ground that we may be able to proceed to hearing proper. Everything that I am saying is strictly consistent with the provision of the rules.
I will go check, Madam Chair. Thank you. Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Grounds. So it is this representation forwarding na sa 6 na nakalagay sa konstitusyon, VP Sara Duterte is guilty of 5. Mabigat po yun. No? Out of the 6, may 5 batayan to say that guilty po siya. No? Gusto ko lang pong pasadahan bilang appreciation of the body. Una, bayan. Meron din po na articulation of meron din pong matiwali.
Pero hindi mo pinapakita ang ebidensya mo para sabihin natin na may basihan bang mga akusasyon mo.
Would also present her evidence formally, and it is also worth stressing Section 7. Section 7 precisely provides for determination of sufficiency of grounds, not complaint. While sufficiency in complaint in substance and form, we have to go one by one. I will read now Section 7. Because you have to
Indeed, if we go back to the provision of the rules, the declaration has to be on the entire impeachment complaint.
Madam Chairman,
The Honorable Defensor, there is a pending motion.
May I reiterate or amend my motion? I move to declare that the third impeachment complaint has sufficient ground or grounds to conduct a hearing by this committee.
There is an amended motion to declare the third impeachment complaint, the Zabalia et al. Impeachment complaint, sufficient in grounds. Do I hear a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The chair declares the third
Ano lang kabilis na ginawa, shortcut.
impeachment complaint sufficient in ground.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Deputy Speaker Janet Garin.
I move to declare and approve the sufficiency of grounds for impeachment of the fourth impeachment complaint, the Cabrera complaint.
There is a motion to declare and approve the sufficiency in ground of the fourth impeachment complaint, that is Cabrera impeachment complaint. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection?
Madam Chair, a manifestation.
Is this an objection?
No, it's not. But
Can we
just
first rule
manifest-
on the motion?
we just first manifest that when it's true, it says complaint whether it has sufficient grounds. The adjective sufficient should be the one controlling, that the grounds should be the ones discussed. But I would just like to state that in this fourth impeachment complaint, I find two to be sufficient, the three are not. So that is my manifestation, that I have no objection.
The manifestation of the Honorable Rodriguez is noted by the committee. Hearing no objection, the chair approves the motion. The fourth impeachment complaint is declared sufficient in grounds.
Nakita ko na si
At this point,
Garin.
honorable members of the Justice Committee, we declare the conclusion of step 3. We declare the conclusion of the determination of sufficiency in grounds. Now, we proceed to step 4. That is the hearing proper. And in line with that, I wish to add that the evidence and witnesses which will be presented by both parties during the hearing proper will be part of our consideration in the determination of probable cause in our step 5. Having said so, the chair announces the predetermined schedule of our hearing proper. This includes March 25, 2026, April 14, April 22, and April 29, 2026. These are the initial dates for our hearing proper. Likewise, the chair places on record that the committee is in receipt of the approved resolution authorizing, the title of which authorizing the House Committee on Justice to implement Section 8 of the Rules of Procedure in impeachment proceedings relating to the protection of complainants and witnesses, and further authorizing the committee to continue the conduct of impeachment proceedings and the exercise of ancillary powers during the recess of the House of Representatives from March 21, 2026 to May 3, 2026. This is the authority that was given by the plenary, the House of Representatives, to the Justice Committee to be able to conduct hearing during our break. That explains the predetermined schedule for our hearing proper. In addition, the chair places on record the committee's receipt on March 5, 2026 of the letter of the Honorable Chel Jokno. This is a request for issuance of subpoena duces tecum of pertinent documents. We likewise place on record the receipt on March 17, 2026 of a petition for transfer of custody of witness Ramil Madriaga. Likewise, this is from the Honorable Jose Manuel Tadeo Chel Jokno. The request for issuance of subpoena and the petition for transfer of custody will be acted upon by the committee on the initial stage of our hearing proper on March 25, 2026. Nonetheless, we are directing the committee secretariat to provide copy of the request and the petition to all the justice members. We likewise direct the requesting party, Honorable Chel Jokno, to furnish the respondent copy of the request for issuance of subpoena and copy of petition for transfer of custody. Would you like to manifest?
Yes,
Honorable
Madam
Jokno?
Chair. We will comply with the instructions of the Honorable Chair. At the same time, just for clarification, may I just state that the petition that I filed is for adequate protection under Section 8 of the Rules of Impeachment, which, depending on the discretion of the committee, may perhaps include a transfer of custody.
The chair stands corrected. Kindly reflect the correction that was manifested by the Honorable Jokno. If there are no other matters which the member wish to raise, the chair is ready to hear the necessary motion.
Madam Chair, move to adjourn.
There is a motion to adjourn. The same has been seconded. There is no objection. Kindly amend the motion. Motion to suspend.
Motion to suspend, Madam Chair.
There is an amended motion to suspend. Any second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none. Our hearing is suspended until March 25, 2026 at 10 o'clock in the morning. Hearing is suspended.
So, gano'n lang kabilis. Shortcut na shortcut. Akala nila mananalo sila. Shortcut na shortcut. Ay, buhay. Sige. Magandang hapon, kapatid. Nandudong tirador. Si Ronel, People's Power na yan. Tapos si Charlie Whiskey, mahiya naman kayo, Congress. Magtrabaho naman kayo. Husay ni Luistro na lukarit. Husay magdaya. Ronel, sufficient in form, sufficient substance, sufficient in ground. What's next? Yun, shortcut yan. Paulo Tantoco, di ba, Gregorio? Si PBBM, sabi ni Cook user daw, dapat sila naghanap ng Cook user si PBBM, di ba, Gregorio? So, Gregorio Babaran, approved na, Mang Tuto. File ka ng petition sa Supreme Court. Meron pa, antayin mo muna yung plenary vote. Q Ilonggo, Dr. Toto, sigurado, SP na naman ang punta nitong mga impeachment dito sa isip, pupunta po lahat yan. So, ano nang nangyari? Wala na, bilis. Vicky Mansion. Good afternoon, Toto Tirador, watching from Lucena City. Yun, ang inyong congressman dyan, si JJ Suarez. Manluloko. Gregorio Babaran, ah, ah, Paulo Tantoco, yan din, paniwala ko. Wala lang legit ko na ebidensya, mga kulto, panatiko. Iba. Akala nila, kaya nila hawakan si UBP. Ayun lang. Ko Ilonggo, doktor to, puro lahat sufficiency informed substance and grounds. Pera kahit anino ng mga ebidensya, walang pinakita. Yung nga eh. Asan mga pera, walang pinakita. Super bias talaga. Oh, Ronel, halata, revenge is in his eye. Oh, good afternoon. Is it revenge or is vindictive? Paulo Tantoco, di ba Gregorio, si PBBM, sabi ko, okay. Ronel, kuhang-kuha sa tatay niya si Rodante, sa itsura, sa boses at sa buhok. Wala kong buhok. Jenna Tanangunan. Okay lang yan, Attorney Toto. Why sa na mag-conclude sila mahalaga, wala silang mahalata sa hearing nila, fishing expedition. Tapos Ben Marwerte, tapos na kagad, mabilis. Greg Babaran, so Rillo, paratang na, walang sapat na batayan. Anong asahan ng BP sa mga makakaliwa ay walang iba, sirain siya. Ronel, Gregorio Babaran, Raymond Ribucas, yan okay na. Rupos, there is sufficient ground. Gregorio, magbigay lang ng pointers si Rupos, Ben Marhuerte. So, Elinita Maglaki, ang inflation ang gawa ninyo ng paraan. Gregorio Babaran. So, mga NPA na baka sakali mapatalsik si Inday. Ellen Mataglaki. Elinita Maglaki. Good afternoon. Ronel. Tapos, Ibigildo do Vergara. Ibigildo Vergara. Tulong. Tapos, Paulo Tantoco. Bobby Cortez. Diyan lang kayo magaling sa Kantsawan. Jenna Tanangunan. Galit ng mga yan. Wala silang mahita sa naging strategy ng defense team. Bobby Cortez, Paulo Tantoco, sino pa? Greg Babaran, si Wing, halata, talaga ba? Didiis lang niwala o kayo lang naniwala o walang maleta? Bobby Elio, Official TV, Bobby Cortez. Lilibeth, wow, Queen Saba, Jonel, Jan, Paper Bags, si Ronel, hindi Jonel, Gregorio Babaran, Weng, sino pa? Si Weng ulit, si Ronel, si Greg Babaran, si number 1 is above the law. No one is above the law pala. Ben Marhuerte, Gregorio Babaran, Raymond Ribucas, no one is above the law, Weng, Paulo Tantuco, Ronel, Marianita, Junet, Catalonia, Kausing, my sister. Galaxy, sila lang ang naglulukuhan. House of Crooks talaga. Galaxy, Junkie Gods is watching. Tapos, King Cotton, ayaw na magbayad ng ATM kay Sarah. Bobby Cortez, good morning, Senator Dr. Toto Kasing, legal expert. Panis na ang maleta. Amil Mutalib, napakahusay ni Laulaw Jinky sa AX Tupad. Margarito Kambarihan, malitang pera. King Cotton, there is sufficient cash. Not sufficient grant, but sufficient cash. Ben Bendalo, tapos Raymond Ribucas, Marcelo Francisco, Chrissy, tapos Galaxy, Alan Felix, si Impartial, Juan Sarco, mga sinungaling, Ben Marhuerte, tapos Tesorero Magdaraog, Selma Tariman, Rolando Algar, Amil Mutalib, Alhamdulillah. Tapos sino pa? si Bobby Elio Official TV, Nathaniel Bruce Cabidog, tapos sino pa? Si Kenjo, Linda Cardeno, tapos si Miliente, Ben Marihuerte, si Anita Chua, I am trustworthy, si Angie Banyes, si Potin, totoo, puro chismis naman yung mga maleta. Ruth Kathleen, hello po sir, pabati naman po ang papa ko na si Emmanuel Tasara. O Emmanuel Tasara, kumusta ka na? Tapos Galaxy, Maria Alexandria Tugas, Hel Carol, si Gregory Babaran, Galaxy, Raymond Ribucas, Maria Alexandra Tugas, Emmanuel Tasara. Okay, pinapaalis na ako. So, magpaalam na ako. Bye-bye.